وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن خير الكلام كلام الله وأحسن الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. فيا معاشر الإخوة, as we were speaking about last week, we were talking about in these days and times how the tab'a or the demeanor of the people have changed. How we will find what the Messenger of Allah has informed us so many authentic ahadith about all these trials and tribulations that will manifest. As we see clearly, it is manifested. All the signs of the days of the hour, or the establishment of the day of resurrection, has become now apparent for everyone to see. As there was a narration that comes on the authority of Abu Hurairah, radiallahu anhu, which is mukharrajun fi Sahih Muslim, where the Prophet ﷺ had mentioned, it said in one narration, يتقارب الزمان يتقارب الزمان ويقبض العلم وتظهر الفتن ويلقى الشح ويكثر الهرج وقيل يا رسول الله ما الهرج قال القتل القتل. One narration where the Prophet ﷺ mentioned and said, where he said in regards to the signs of the hour, it is drawn close and is manifested clearly for everyone to see. It's distinct and it's clear. He said, from the signs of the hours, that time will start to pass by and elapse expeditiously. It will start to move and pass very quickly. That sign from the hour has now appeared. You see it clearly for everyone to see. يتقارب الزمان. For one narration it says, Ya ma'ashal ikhwa, as we'll discuss inshallah, how time will start to pass by very quickly, which is on the authority of Anas. Well, Imam al-Suyuti also mentioned it. وصححه الإمام الألباني, where another narration is said, لا تقوم الساعة حتى تكون السنة كالشهر ويكون الشهر كالجمعة وتكون الجمعة كاليوم ويكون اليوم كالضرمة بالنار. The time will start to pass by so quickly to the point where a year will start to become like a month, and a month will become like a week, and a week will become like a day, and the day will become like the spark of a fire. That's exactly what we're witnessing right now. Allah Ta'ala has allowed this sign to manifest itself. As this is from the Ashrat al-Sa'ah, the hours when it's drawn close. But what is the benefit of mentioning this? What is al-fa'ida? What is the benefit of mentioning this, what we're saying right now? The benefit is, ya ma'ashal ikhwa wal akhawat, is this incumbent upon us now to start to hasten towards doing righteous actions. Because the time of death is approaching, and rather it is approaching. The time of the hour as a what? Has drawn close. For every week we remind ourselves about death. So we know that the reality that this is imminent for all of us without any exception. حتى متى أنت في اللهو واللعب والموت يهوي نحوك فاتحا فاه. When are you going to stop joking and playing around? When death is coming to you with his mouth wide open. When are we going to stop taking life as a joke and start hastening to do righteous actions? And we just talked about last week from those righteous actions in which shaitan deems it to be nothing from what we said last week, ya ma'ashal ikhwa. How many people do we see becoming Muslim every day? How do we see how many people from the men and the women I'll be embracing Islam, but they have no one to teach them. They come to the masjid seeking help. All of us say, we're too busy. Person comes, takes shahada. What do? Take him a book, he'll be all right, he's good. Leave him out for this jungle out here with all the different temptation and all the deviant sects and all the different types of kufr and shirk that he will be subjected to on a daily basis. Someone needs to take time in to get the reward with Allah Ta'ala. For every time you teach him how to bow, how to make sujood, how to recite Surah Al-Fatiha, how to make wudu, how to teach him the tashahud, you get rewarded for it every time he does it. Every time he prays, you get the reward for it. Same thing with our sisters. You teach the sister how to properly herself, properly cover herself. Teach her Surah Al-Fatiha. Not beating her down when she walks in the masjid. Not as soon as she takes shahada, a'udhu billah, why does she have that on her face? Why is the makeup on her face? Why is she wearing tight jeans? We're not saying these things are not wrong, they're wrong. But there's a certain way of trying to teach them. They just became Muslim, they don't know any better. You have to be gentle in your delivery in order for them to what? Come to the religion of Islam and call. And also embrace the right aqidah. The aqidah which the Sahaba were upon. For verily, we do not want to be a reason for now alienating the people and taking them away from the truth. But shaitan, like we said, minimizes and thinks these affairs are nothing to us. When they're tremendous with Allah, when we take time out to teach someone how to pray, teach them someone or teach one tawheed, teaching him what sunnah is, teaching him what bid'ah is, teaching him what tawheed is, teaching him what shirk is, teaching it with ta'ah, and teaching them what ma'asi, to the best of our ability in order to what? To attain a reward and prepare for death. Because these are the affairs that's going to benefit us once we put under that dirt. But we know from the alama to sa'ah, the Prophet ﷺ had also mentioned and said, as we're talking about another narration on the authority of Abu Hurairah, where the Messenger of Allah ﷺ had also mentioned, said, from the signs of the hour, so yulqa shuh, people will become severely stingy and also selfish. They will be very, very severely stingy and selfish. As in one narration we'll talk about, where it says, Ya ma'ashal ikhwa la taqum as-sa'ah. This hadith is on the authority of Abu Hurairah. It's also mentioned in Suyuti. And Imam al-Albani also said the isnad is sahih. Where he said, La taqum as-sa'ah hatta yataqarab az-zaman وتظهر الفتن ويكثر الكذب وتتقارب الأسواق ويكثر الهرج. So one narration it says, he says that the hour will not be established. He says until there will be trials and tribulations that will manifest. From those trials and tribulations we see all around us. It is comprehensive for all different types of meanings. From those meanings is killing, murder, people being now selfish, overburningly stingy, people not caring about one another, no one giving salams except to who they know. Also likewise, killing, murder, bid'ah, stealing, deceit, being mischievous. And he also mentioned and said that there will be abundance of people who will lie. Abundance of lying, trials and tribulations, children being born out of wedlock, fornication, music, all these things we see is around us, manifesting itself. The signs are clear. Yakthur al-kadhib. And also marketplaces will start to become close to one another. Why did the Messenger of Allah ﷺ mention this? In regards to the aswaq or the marketplaces becoming close to one another. Because we know in another narration the Prophet ﷺ mentioned and said that these are the most hated places to Allah. أبغض الأماكن في الدنيا الأسواق أبغض الأماكن عند الله تبارك وتعالى في هذه الدنيا الأسواق. As we know that the most hated and despised places in this dunya to Allah is the marketplaces of what takes place of lying, cheating, deceit, one embellishing and decorating his speech in order to attain profit or to make his business lucrative, swearing by Allah and lying in order to raise the price and get the amount that he wants in order for one to purchase that commodity or those goods in which the owner possesses. All different types of affairs in which angers Allah takes places in those particular places that he mentioned in this hadith. That the message of Allah mentioned and said that the marketplaces will start to become close to one another. We don't see it right now, right outside the masjid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right next to each other. Go to the mall, they're all right next to each other. Another narration, it says that there will be buildings and they will start to compete, and it being high and lofty. Likewise, we see taking place. All of this, but we're in a state of heedlessness and inadvertence of what is coming as a reality right at our faces, which is what everyone, which is death is approaching, which is time for us to get ourselves together. We said in the narration with the message of Allah also mentioned and said that time will start to pass by quickly and expeditiously. You see it manifest. It is now approaching. We are in the middle of Shawwal already. Half of Shawwal is gone. Seems like we just finished Ramadan maybe a week ago. Half of Shawwal gone. And this is the reason, ya ma'ashal ikhwa, it's time for us to prepare for what's coming. For one of those ways you can prepare for death. Teach a new shahada. Teach them how to pray. Teach them what Aqidah Salafi is. Teach them what Minhaj Salafi is. Or you can at least point them in the right direction. No, but what we do is warn from the masjid. What you got to go there for? There's other masajid you can go to. Warn them so they can now be deviated to go to another masjid or another affair or another place that's going to improperly teach them and teach them a religion and cultivate them in an improper manner. Teaching them an affair that is not the most important of affairs. Where you see that the people warn against the call to Tawheed and the warn against Shirk and telling the people that this is the correct dawah. And likewise, it is clear and manifest for anyone to see. If you do not see a masjid doing exactly how the Prophet ﷺ called to the dawah, which is dawah al-anbiya, which is a sayr ala tawheed al-khalis lillah. If you do not see that, then you know that their dawah is improper. The message of Allah ﷺ ركز على أمر التوحيد 13 سنة لأهمية وعظم هذا الأمر وتخليص الناس من عباد العباد إلى عباد رب العباد تبارك وتعالى. 13 years the message of Allah focused on this affair. Not only do the Muslims deviate from this path, they warn against it. To let you know, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. If they're not calling to this, then we know that this dawah is incorrect. It's going to fail. There's no dawah that traverses upon the path of the message of Allah. Know for sure, brothers, it's going to fail. فَأَمَّا الزَّبَدُ فَيَذْهَبُ جُفَاءً وَأَمَّا مَا يَنْفَعُ النَّاسِ فَيَمْكُثُ فِي الْأَرْضِ كَذَلِكَ يَضْرِبُ اللَّهُ الْأَمْثَالَ. As we know the ayat which is in Surah Ar-Ra'd. As for فَأَمَّا الزَّبَدُ فَيَذْهَبُ جُفَاءً. As for the foam, meaning that which has no benefit. And from those affairs that has no benefit, those affairs that go opposed to what the message of Allah and all the prophets were upon, it's going to go away and fade away. But what will benefit the people truly will remain in the earth, ya ma'ashal ikhwa. And this is exactly what you see taking place. And for that reason, ya ma'ashal ikhwa, if we do not do away with us being divided because of our color or our race or our background or our ethnicity, if we do not do away with these affairs, the state of what we see is going to what? Become worse. And you will see the affairs not improving. And you will not see the community progressing. And we ask Allah Ta'ala to aid us and allow us to take heed to what is manifesting in front of us and hasten towards doing righteous actions. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تمسك بسنته إلى يوم الدين وسلم تسليما كثيرا أما بعد. Another benefit that I wanted to speak about in which you'll find that a lot of people have this mentality or this way of thinking, is the ayah in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Hajj, which is a tremendous ayah. Allah wa ta'ala has, in His book, refuted all types of batil. Know for sure, brothers and sisters, the origin of rudud, the origin of refutations is in the book of Allah. Tabaraka wa ta'ala. أصل الردود ترجع إلى كتاب الله تبارك وتعالى العزيز. لأن الله تبارك وتعالى فيه أبطل كل شبهة وأبطل كل باطل. Every type of falsehood, that every type or every call of shaitan that whispered to the people in order for the people now to say it upon their tongues, in order to delude or take the people away from the truth, Allah sent down an ayat refuting it. وَلَا يَأْتُونَكَ بِمَثَلٍ إِلَّا جِئْنَاكَ بِالْحَقِّ وَأَحْسَنِ تَفْسِيرًا. They don't come with any type of example, any type of batil, in order to take the people away from the correct message, and from the correct path, and from the correct methodology, and from the correct aqidah, except we sent down an ayah, nullifying it, refuting it, and the best of explanations. Now Allah Ta'ala refutes every type of falsehood you can think of. Allah refutes the kuffar. Allah refutes kufr. Allah refutes shirk. Allah refutes nifaq. Allah refutes the kuffar. Allah refutes the munafiqeen. Allah Ta'ala refutes the Christians. Allah refutes the Jews. Allah refutes every type of batil that will take you away from the correct path. Am I not saying the truth or not? The book of Allah is filled with refutations against all types of batil in order to make clear what is the correct path and make it distinct. وَكَذَلِكَ نُفَصِّلُ الْآيَاتِ وَلِتَسْتَبِينَ سَبِيلُ الْمُجْرِمِينَ. We have made in detail all our ayat in order to make clear those who are upon the ways of destruction from the criminals and the wrongdoers and those who spread in the earth and go about it in corruption. We made it clear. That is the origin of rudud. Goes back to the book of Allah. Tabaraka wa ta'ala. Rather, ya ma'ashal ikhwa, and I've heard this with my own ears, and it shows what the message of Allah in the hadith is manifesting. Where it says, وَيُقْبَضُ الْعِلْمِ, knowledge will start to be snatched away. Until now you see the people reprimanding refutations from those who are truly upon the correct knowledge. Brothers and sisters, there's no way you can attain the haqq except that if it's laid out in front of you. Then falsehood is laid out, you see it, then the one who's upon the proper aqidah, he comes with the ayat and the sunnah and destroys it. That's the best way for you to see that the truth is beautiful and what you're upon is what? Is correct. So that's the reason why you'll find the ulama come with these what? Refutations. They're the best way to give you insight of how to make haqq and batil to distinguish between one another. That's why it comes in the poetry where it says, Al-husnu yuzhiru husnahu ضده وبضدها تتميز الأشياء. الضد يظهر حسنه ضده وبضدها تتميز الأشياء. The opposite, what reveals its beauty, is its opposite, or what opposes it. And by the opposite of something, things become clear and distinct. I want to know those examples that Allah sent down in order to what? Wipe away batil. It's in this ayah, in Surah Al-Hajj. Where Allah Ta'ala says in His book, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَن يَعْبُدُ اللَّهَ عَلَى حَرْفٍ فَإِنْ أَصَابَهُ خَيْرٌ اطْمَأَنَّ بِهِ فَإِنْ أَصَابَتْهُ فِتْنَةٌ انقَلَبَ عَلَى وَجْهِهِ خَسِرَ الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةَ ذَلِكَ هُوَ الْخُسْرَانُ الْمُبِينُ. This is another ayah to show that Allah refutes all type of batil. In this ayah, where Allah says in His book, there's from the people who worship Allah upon the edge. There's from the people who worship Allah upon the edge. Listen to this ayah. You'll find that Mujahid and Qatab and Da'am al-Sudusi, what Ibn Kathir also mentioned, Because we don't want to be like Farrakhan. Because Farrakhan likes to give tafsir from his own nafs, making up stuff in order to what? In order to agree with his ideologies, a batil. No, we want the tafsir of the Sahaba. What did the Sahaba and the Tabi'een say about these ayat? Not what Farrakhan come with his own mind to justify what he's upon of falsehood, calling to Elijah Poole and all that nonsense. What is the tafsir of how the Prophet ﷺ understood it in the Sahaba? Listen to what it says in the tafsir. From the people who worship Allah upon an edge. One tafsir says, from the people who worship Allah upon doubt. Ala shak. One tafsir says on the authority Ibn Abbas, on the authority Sa'id ibn Jubair, upon Ibn Abbas says, and I want everyone to listen to this ayah, on the tafsir of this. He says on one ayah, about the tafsir of the explanation of it, he says, فَإِن وَجَدَ مَا يُحِبُّهُ إِسْتَقَرْ وَإِن لَمْ شَمَرْ. He says if he finds in the religion, he embraces it, and it's upon doubt, and upon it being conditional. For his worship of Allah has to be conditional. So he embraces the truth, embraces Islam, embraces Salafiyah, embraces the proper Aqidah, comes to it. Now listen to what Allah says. If he's tested with some type of good, he's at ease with it. One tafsir says, if he finds what he's upon of the truth while he's embracing it, what he loves of worldly things, he becomes settled upon it. And if he does not like or find what he likes or detests something, then he what? Then he turns back on his heels. He leaves it off. Listen to one tafsir of the ayah. One tafsir of the ayah, as it says, you'll find that during the time of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there were people that came to Al-Madinah, and when they embraced what is correct from Islam, and it's more than we can say in befitting Salafiyah, the correct understanding of Islam. He says when a person embraced it, if he found that his wife was giving birth to abundance of children, and that his dunya affairs or his monetary affairs became upright, his business became lucrative, he started getting all types of dunya, all of his money and financial affairs started to become straight, his wife started giving birth to abundance of children, everything that he wants and he loves of this dunya, he started getting it. He said, this religion is the best. This is a great religion. Then listen to the opposite. Then the Prophet ﷺ in the ayah, Allah Ta'ala says in his book, but if he embraces the truth, comes to the religion of Islam, comes to the religion of Salafiyah, embraces what is correct, if Allah decides to touch him with some trials and tests, it's a different story. Then he says to himself, his wife didn't give any birth to any children, or the woman might say, I haven't given any birth to any children. SubhanAllah al-Azim, since I came to this religion, I've had nothing but evil happen to me. I have nothing but since bad happened to me. I never had anything except people had bad manners towards me. People roll their eyes at me. People grin on me. This is a trick from shaitan. To get you to what? Now go away from the truth. That's why you'll find that shaitan goes into those kuffar and from the people of Ahlul Bid'ah, and he decorates their etiquette and their manners for you. So when you go there, they're waiting for you. No, I know what you found at that Salafi masjid. They treated you bad. I know they grinning on you. It's like shaitan, yeah. Shaitan coming to you. Yeah, they treated you bad. We're not justifying that we tell our brothers to have bad manners. No. Brothers and sisters know I'm hard on us about improving our manners and how to deal with people. So we're not justifying that. The brothers and sisters know that I keep telling them, you need to improve. We need to improve our etiquette. When people come to the masjid, smile on their face. Make them feel comfortable. Make them want to come here again. Make them welcome. But however, we still have to refute Balta from the tricks of shaitan, because these are the ways in which shaitan tricks the people and making them fall off. From that, he says, shaitan now goes to the people from the kuffar, from the Jews and the Christians and the people of Al-Bid'ah, and he decorates their etiquette. We know since you went to that masjid, they treated you bad. Did they help you out with your kids? Did he give you anything? Did they help you out? No, come and sit down. You want something to drink? Take it ease, shaitan. So now shaitan now comes to you And he says to you, and we're going to talk about the tafsir of what Ibn Abbas also mentioned. He says, Shaitan comes to one of us and says to him in his ear, says to him in himself, since you've been embraced this truth that you're upon, you didn't find any good, did you? People always looking at you funny. People always treating you bad. Saying you every time you go out, you lost your job. You lost your money. You're going through hardships. This is what Shaitan does from his plots. Listen to the other tafsir of what Ibn Abbas also mentioned. It says, قال كان الناس من الأعراب يأتون النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ويسلمون فإذا رجعوا إلى بلادهم فإن وجد عام غيث وعام خصب وعام ولاد حسن قالوا إن ديننا هذا لصالح فتمسكوا به وإن وجدوا عام جدوبة وعام ولاد سوء وعام قحط قال ما في ديننا هذا خير فأنزل الله تبارك وتعالى هذه الآية. فيا معاشر الإخوة, as he says that the Arab are those from the Bedouins used to come to the Messenger of Allah. They used to come to the Messenger of Allah and they would embrace Islam. They would become Muslim. And if they went back to their lands and they went back to their cities and they seen that it was a year of rain that was coming down in abundance, and likewise it was a time where the land was fertile and it was bringing forth its crops and its agriculture and its what? And its fruits and bearing all these different types of agriculture. And likewise, children were becoming in abundance and their families were growing and people were getting children. He says, verily they say this religion is good, and they cling firm to it. However, if they found a year where it was a year of it being a drought, there wasn't getting any rain, and also likewise they wasn't getting any children. The women weren't bearing any children, and they were not getting what they want. And also likewise they became in a state where it was a drought and it was a famine. They said, verily this religion is evil. We didn't find any good in it. Allah Ta'ala sent down this ayat refuting this type of what? This type of mentality. That your ibadah of you embracing the truth has to be based upon what Allah gives you of good. And if Allah tested you with something evil, now you what? Now you turn back on your heels and you reject the truth and you embrace falsehood. And you even blame the religion, like saying this is the religion. Since I embraced this truth, all I had is difficulties. All I had is hardship. I didn't find any good. You'll find another narration where some of the Arab during the time of the Messenger of Allah, if they get their wives, gave birth to females, and they did not give the sadaqat or their money or their affairs, which is pertaining to their business, was not lucrative, and their financial affairs wasn't straight, they rejected the truth. How many of us have now been tested with this from the people of the truth? I've heard on many stories asking, why did you leave Salafiyah? Why did you leave Islam? Why did you leave the people of the truth? And if you sit and listen to them, man, subhanAllah, when I went to that masjid, they just treated me so bad. Since I left Christianity and I came to this religion, subhanAllah, it's just like I lost my car. My child, one of my children died. My financial affairs is now in disarray and chaotic. Since I embraced this truth. And I've heard this from many people. This is the reason why we're reading these ayats. That's another plot of shaitan. Worshiping Allah upon what is conditional on the edge is dangerous. And if you now make your worship of you being upon the truth, this type of condition, with this type of mentality, you are going to fall off that edge. Plunging into what is of the depths of misguidance. And even in their narration, we'll talk about Ibn Abbas even mentioned it said. He says, you will even find that the people will start to apostate. That the meaning in qalaba ala wajhihi, yani irtadda kafiran. Flips on his face. Meaning that he becomes an apostate. Left the truth totally. Or now he starts to now reject Salafiyah. Goes to the people of innovations. And starts speaking bad about the people of the truth. This is all from the plots of shaitan. That he implants in all of our minds. And I've heard this from sisters too. Same thing. When I came to that masjid, as soon as I'm walking the masjid, you see the sisters. And I think some people are looking for an excuse not to embrace the truth. Some of them. Because they have a sickness in their heart. As soon as they come to the masjid, Start that now, I make up things. Man, one sister here, she was looking at me funny. That's why I'm never coming back there again. Shaitan, who you think you hurt? Yourself or the people of the truth or Allah? Or you just hurt your own self? Or you hurt your own soul? As soon as I came to that masjid, I just felt like it was just the wrong place to be in. And we know this is another type of battle that Shaitan has done to the people to misguide them. Us being upon Salafiyya, ya ma'ashal ikhwa, and being upon the deen of religion should never be upon how we feel. Everything we're upon is upon ilm, hujaj, wadiha, sahiha, qati'a, sati'a. We worship Allah upon evidence and proof, not upon how we feel. Because how you feel one day can be this way. Oh, I feel this is the truth. Tomorrow you say, oh, I feel this is not the truth. So now you're going to leave the truth because you feel some way different. Every time or everything you're upon has to be based upon knowledge, proofs, evidences. Once you now learn that, that will keep you firm. And from that knowledge is what we're disseminating right now to the people. These are the plots of Shaitan in which Allah sent down the ayat to refute that falsehood. Do not make your worship of Allah conditional. Maybe and now Allah is testing you with some type of trials. Maybe purifying you to get you ready to something better that's coming. How many of us have been in situations where we say, I'm tired, like I'm so much negativity, and I'm tired. Then you get to the point, is your breaking point, then Allah sends you your ease. He gives it to you when you least expect it. Man, it's stressful. I'm just tired. Why I can't have any kids? Why is my financial affairs not in order? Why is nothing going right? And I'm doing everything I can. I'm praying my 5 salawat. I'm praying my sunan. I'm trying to pray at night. I fast. I do this during the day, during the month. And we say, be steadfast upon that, for verily, inshallah, your ease is coming. But you have to be patient. And how many ayats Allah Ta'ala has talked about the nature of man? وَكَانَ الْإِنسَانُ عَجُولًا. Mankind, he's always in hasty. He's always rushing. He always wants something quick. It has to be now, instantly. Then you find what is instant is what will mess you up. Then you regret it that you made a quick move. For ya ma'ashal ikhwa, do not be from those who worship Allah upon an edge. Worship Allah upon doubt. If Allah tested you with some good, then you're at ease with it. Oh, mashallah, this religion, Salafiyya, mashallah, it's minhaj. This religion is the greatest. As soon as Allah tests you with something, oh, subhanallah, this is the most evilest of things I embraced in my life. I'm going back to Christianity. Really? And then Allah might switch it as a test and trial for you. You go back to Christianity, and Allah opens up the dunya for you. It's a fitna for you. Or you might go back to the people of innovations, the people of Ahl al-Tahazzub, or people of Ahl al-Bid'ah. And Allah might change it and switch it back up and give you what you want in the dunya to set you up for a trap. This is the reason why Allah in everything, in every ayah in His book, has talked about the mentality of every type of balta that Shaitan can utilize in order to take the people away from the truth. In His book. And it's clear. Because you see this. It's evident and clear. I've heard it from so many people. Say this nonsense. I left Islam, I left Salafi because so-and-so stole my money. What does money and the truth have to be with you being tested in something of your worldly affairs? But that's what Shaitan came in his mind, to make him think that the religion of Islam is evil. Minhaj al-Salafi is evil. The minhaj that you're upon is evil. Those people, they're evil. That imam, he's evil. That masajid, they're evil. I know since you walked in there, they just started gritting on you, didn't they? That's what Shaitan says to you. Leave and go somewhere else. Got you. Soon as you went to the Christians, they started giving you food. They started giving your children. They started aiding them, giving you monetary assistance. Shaitan got you. We ask Allah Ta'ala bi asma'ihi al-husna wa sifatihi al-ula an yuthabbitana wa iyyakum ala al-haqq wa yuriyana al-batila batilan wa yarzuqna ijtinabah ويرينا الحق حقا ويرزقنا اتباعه ويرينا الباطل باطلا ويرزقنا اجتنابه وأن يتولانا وإياكم برعايته وحفظه في الدنيا والآخرة، ويوفقنا وإياكم إلى العمل الصالح والثبات على العقيدة السلفية والمنهج الصحيح القويم الذي سار عليه النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وأصحابه، وأن يتوفانا ونحن على ذلك، إنه ولي ذلك والقادر عليه. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه، وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين، وأقيموا الصلاة.